Hi, everybody. I want to get you started on the material for this week. I may end up making another video after this one because I want to make sure that you have the material that you need. So what you're working on this week is your project number 1, and that was assigned to you last week in some of the reading. And so I want to open this week's folder and just look at what is in it. So again, what to do in this section, this walks you through basically most of these pages, and then there is a link to each of these, although you can also take them by just moving from one to the next here. So you begin working on project 1, and again, the page numbers are there for you. You'll need to read chapter 4 that talks about main ideas, because understanding the main idea of a piece of writing is essential to be able to write a good summary of it. And that's what project 1 is. And so begin working through that. And again, that takes you to read about project 1. This takes you to read chapter 4 and then the chapter 4 quiz. Some more information for you, some other activities for you, just to give you some good practice and some good experience with some other pieces of writing and with some of the things that you need to deal with. Now, what I have provided for you here is a template, and a template is basically just a format that you can use. It's a pre-built format. And so I have put together this format for you for your first essay. And all you need to do is click on this, click on the 3 dots, and then download the file. And then open it and save it. And then you will just type in it or copy and or select and delete so that you can replace the content in it. But this is using MLA documentation format, and that is the style that we're using for this first paper. That's the Modern Language Association, and your reading talks about this some and provides you some links in your chapters. And so if you click on this to download the original file, and then you open this, that's going to open as a Word document, and here it is. And I walk you through the paper and tell you what you need to do. So all of this is already available to you. Again, if you will just save it at this point, then you need to go through and just replace some of the content. And I explain that as you read this. So in the first sentence of your paper, tell the name of the article in quotation marks, the name of the author, the topic of the article, and again, the reading on Project 1 talks you through all of this and tells you what to do. You'll end this first paragraph with a thesis statement, and that is a sentence that tells the main point that King is discussing in her article. Then you'll use additional body paragraphs for each of the main sections, and you'll continue with that. I'm guessing that each paragraph will be about 6 to 8 sentences long. Again, use additional body paragraphs for each main section. Include at least 2 body paragraphs. And then as you can see in this template, everything is double spaced. Paragraphs are indented. You also have 4 headings in the upper left corner that you will need to just click here and select it and type your name, my name, the course name, the date. And then I also explain what to do up here with the header if you have never dealt with a header. So in the upper right corner of each page is your last name and the page number. If you double click on the header, replace the word surname with your surname, your last name, and then click the cursor just down in the paper, somewhere off of the header, to exit the header. So I'm going to show you this. You just click up in this. I put my cursor up here and I double clicked in that, and now I can type there. And so I would select this, put my last name in, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Your last name, not my last name, your last name, and then just click out of that. And you see how it saved it? And it will save it for each page. So you see how it's replaced it on page 2 and then down here on page 3. And that's all you need to do to that. You just double click in it to get your cursor up in that header and then double click to get out of it. All right? Very simple. Very simple. You also need a Works Cited page, and I have provided that for you. Again, your chapter you're reading in chapter 11, Project 1 talks about this, and I have created this for you. This shows the name of the author, Laura King, the name of her article, the name of the book that it came from, and your chapter explains that to you, the publisher of that book, and the year of publication, and the page span of that article in that chapter, in that book. And then it has been reprinted in Commonplaces, 2nd edition, edited by Lisa Hoffner and Kent Hoffner, published by McGraw-Hill in 2019. And in our reprint in our textbook, it's on pages 398 to 399. So that's what the information is that you provide in the work cited. And then within the text of your paper, you merely talk about King, what Laura King says, or what Miss King says. You do not call her Laura because you are not on a first name basis with her. You call her King or Ms., probably, since you don't know if she's married or she's single. And so MS period is an abbreviation that is complementary to Mr., just a title that you would use for a woman or for a man. And so some information there in that. And again, you will just select over this and type it, type your information in, and it will replace it. You also could just start and type it and bump that out of the way, but then make sure you delete it. And so that's some information for you as you start working on this paper. I will follow up with an additional video that talks about King's article, but that gives you some mechanical information that you can use to get started.